Like I mentioned before, my name is Bridget Bauman, and I am the president of San Bernardo Park Association. I would like to let you know that our boundaries are the streets from the east side of Greenfield Road to Strathmoor, between West 7 Mile Road and Northwest James Couzens Freeway, between 7 Mile and Greenfield Road. I will also let you know that we also have a weekly email blast where we provide a lot of information about what we do between our newsletters, and also is updated weekly. If you would like to sign up for our email blast, please call or text 313-437-1062 or email us at sbpa_blockclub@yahoo.com, and we'll be happy to add you on. Let's go on to the next slide. I also want to let you know that our meetings are being hosted by the Department of Neighborhood District 2. So that's why we thank them very much for helping us do our virtual meetings. Now, I also want to remind folks that we are surrounded by various churches. Our boundaries are surrounded by various churches, businesses, and organizations. I'm including on the Zoom meeting a QR code that you can scan to see the businesses that support our neighborhood. This is updated whenever we get new businesses participation. And we want to encourage everyone to patronize or visit the businesses, churches, and organizations within our boundaries. Please go on to the next one. Please, next slide. Okay. We have a lot of people at this meeting. Well, we have several guest speakers. I want to let you know we're going to have Councilwoman Angela Calloway is going to be on. Also, we have a speaker from Wayne County Treasurer Department to talk about stuff, and we have another speaker going to be talking about how you could be an advocate for your own health insurance, health plan. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide, please. A few announcements before we get to our Councilwoman Calloway. We want to remind everybody to pay your SBPA membership dues. You can pay by Cash App or money order. I have the QR code that will take you directly to Cash App. Also, you can pay by Zelle by going to emailing SBPA contributions with an S at the end and dues with an S at the end at gmail.com. If you also can contact us anytime at 313-437-1062, and we'd be glad to provide you with instructions and details of the different ways you can pay your membership dues. Go on to the next one, please. Next announcement. Okay, I would like to remind everybody that the City of Detroit is going to resume picking up yard waste effective March 31st citywide. But our schedule weekly pickups is every Friday for trash and yard waste and recycling bins and bulk. So therefore, the first time the city will be picking up yard waste in our neighborhood is going to be April the 4th. We have several instructions not to put your stuff out until the weekend, until the day of or the day before April the 4th, which is that Friday. Also, I want to let you know that residents can place grass clippings and other items at the curbside. Wait a minute, see if I can get this up a little bit higher so I can see. Read them over real quick. Okay. Residents can place grass clippings, leaves, and small bags that are no more than 2 inches in diameter, and a biodegradable paper bags, and they on their should say weekly pickup. Branches, twigs, and are up to 4 feet in length and no more than 2 inches in diameter. Should be bundled and left at the curbside, and individual bundles should not be more than 60 pounds. And when placing your backyard waste at the curb, it should be at least 6 feet from the other containers that you put out there. so they can pick it up. And also, the most important thing is the city will not pick up black black trash bags. They only pick up yard waste in paper yard bags, or if you have a canister or container that says yard waste. If you would like to know the guidelines for how you should put your stuff at the curbside, you can text us at 313-437-1062, and we'll be happy to provide you with the link to go directly to um, that information. Okay, next one. Okay, I also will make a weekly announcement. Next slide. Okay. Um, I also would like to make an announcement that let's see.
You don't see the open house?
Oh yeah, I see. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Also, I'm sorry. I also want to make an announcement to remind everybody to attend the mall. That's DAMILE LLC open house tomorrow. It's located at 15200 West 7 Mile Road at Sussex Street. The mall premier events space invites all San Bernardo Park Association neighbors, which include the businesses, churches, and organizations, to stop by for their open house tomorrow, Saturday, March 22nd, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The owner will be available to answer questions about the building and also their plans for engaging with our community. Light refreshments will be served. Again, that's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, March 22nd, between 1 and 3, and we encourage everyone in the neighborhood to stop by and meet the owner of the building. Okay, my next one. Just remind everybody that NPO for our neighborhood is Sergeant McGee, who can be reached 24/7 at 313-596-1221. Now, she's not going to answer the phone 24/7, but you can leave a voice message and she will return your call at the number of 313-596-1221, or you can email her at lmcgee1764 at Detroit, Michigan, or to DetroitMI.gov about any non-emergency and reoccurrence cardiac issues that you might have. Also remind everybody that we do have a free food box giveaway every Friday at the Methodist Center out through December of 2025, and that's every Friday at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, that takes care of all my announcements, I believe. So now I'm gonna see, is Councilwoman Calloway, are you on?
I am.
Great. Okay. Happy that you our first guest for our
Thank you.
meeting for 2025. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and let everybody know what's going on in City Council.
Okay, thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. I think we have a PowerPoint. Good evening, San Bernardo Park Association community, visitors, also to my staff. I thank you for allowing me or inviting me to be your first speaker of the new year. So happy new year to everyone, because I know this is your very first meeting of the year. So happy new year to everyone. The next slide. And all of my information is in the chat. We have some events coming up. My contact information is in the chat as well. Okay, so let's see here. What did Councilmember Calloway advocate for in the 2025 budget, and still advocating? $250,000 to increase the appropriation for the Eastern Market, support for Black owner farms. $500,000 to increase the appropriation for early childhood education through Gold Line after school program. And I've been doing that advocacy for the young people, our children, our youth, since I've been in office. I established the Youth and Civic Engagement Task Force in 2022, and we've been doing some amazing things with that task force. But we are mandated by our charter. It's probably on page 3 of the charter in our preamble. We are responsible. Our first responsibility is not to our senior citizens, it's to our youth. And that's what the preamble says in the charter. We are mandated to do so. And I have endeavored to do that every year since I've been in office. That's the first thing I insist on getting approved in the budget, is resources and funding for programs that impact our young people. Also, $2.5 million to increase the appropriation for the lead-based paint encapsulation program to assist small businesses and small landlords with compliance and more affordable housing units in the city of Detroit, not just in District 2. And what that simply means is you have a lot of homes that were built before a certain period of time. They have lead in the paint. That was just commonplace. But what you can do is you may not be able to strip the house down to the studs. I've seen that done before as well, but that's so expensive. So instead of stripping the house down to the studs, we will help you capture the lead in the paint to remediate it. And it's called to encapture it or encapsulate it. And we have an organization on the Avenue of Fashion / Livernois. They are working with young people to get that skill set. I'm going to make sure that we put money in this budget to make sure those children, those youth, have the funding that they need to get that training. So it's simply what happens after you encapsulate that paint. A child under 6 years old won't be impacted even if they put a paint chip in their mouth, because you've captured it, you remediated it, and you stabilize it. So if the chips were to fall, you have paint chips around, it's not going to impact your children. If the house or the unit, the apartment unit, will now be safe. And we also put that in the budget, and it is working. $40,000 was in the budget for the design and implementation of banners. Been a long process. So you should see some banners up probably in the next 60 days on the Avenue of Fashion on all of the poles up and along Livernois. We are down from 12 to the final 3 banner designs. I had nothing to do with the design selection. I had all to do with the $40,000 being set aside. That money went over to GSD, the General Services Department, and the stakeholders on the Avenue of Fashion / Livernois have been in talks, have been going through the process of making the selection for the final design. So they're down to the final 3 designs out of about 12 designs, and they're all beautiful. That was my opinion, but I left it up to the stakeholders and the business owners on Livernois to choose the banner. And the banner is just simply going to go on the poles that are already there. The poles are already situated or already retrofit to accommodate the banners. And I don't know if any of you saw right around Thanksgiving, we had blue snowflakes installed on every other pole on Livernois. I think it was from 8 Mile all the way to Craddieth. We're hoping to put them on every pole in November for 2025. That's my goal, and I'm going to get the money out of this budget. So again, in another month or so, you are going to see beautiful banners on the light poles, and it's simply going to say, welcome to the historic Avenue of Fashion, where you can explore, dine, and shop. So I'm really excited about that. And they're going to be beautiful. All 3 designs, the final designs, are vibrant. You're going to be able to see them while you're in your car, when you're walking, and it's really going to do wonders to that strip here in District 2. So I'm excited about that being approved. And again, we're in the final stages. Lastly, which is most exciting for me, is we got $2.5 million for the restoration of the mural fountain at Palmer Park. Some people were saying it couldn't be done. I always like for people to tell me what can't be done, and that makes me work that much harder. But we did get that. We've already chosen a company, an organization that's going to do the study, that's going to start the work on the fountain. So hopefully another year or so, you'll be able to enjoy that fountain at Palmer Park. It's going to be a wedding destination. It's going to be a tourist attraction. So people are just not going to zoom past 8 Mile when they're on Woodward heading downtown. They're going to see that fountain running. We're going to have beautiful flowers and trees all around it. It's going to be so inviting. It's going to be so appealing. You're going to be able to see it, experience it, and enjoy it. And that has always been my goal since taking office in 2022. And it's going to be a reality. Hopefully in the next 18 months, you're going to see a lot of accomplishments right around that mural fountain. Bridget, you know what I'm talking about, because when you walked with us a year or so ago, we always take our Thursday morning walks. When we're at Palmer Park, we go to that fountain, we look at it, we take pictures, and I'm telling everybody now, take your before pictures, because you're going to have some wonderful after pictures real soon, because it is going to be absolutely restored. It's going to be functioning and totally operational. So I'm really excited about that. Lastly, again, we have $36,000 to increase appropriation for the second operations for transportation for senior citizens. We were able to use that service over the summer. We took our seniors to the DIA, we took them to the African American Museum, we took them to the zoo. Marvelous. And we're gonna also put money in the budget this year to do the same thing. The seniors always want to travel, they want to go places, but a lot of them are not driving, they don't have access to transportation, and they really like to go in groups. So we realized that. So President Sheffield and I put money in the budget to be able to take our seniors and from all of our buildings to the zoo, again, the DIA and the African American Museum, and it was very, very successful. Then we have $500,000 for the Detroit Legacy Business Fund. 2 weeks ago, we were able to honor 3 of our legacy businesses. There were 9 that were chosen. 3 came from District 2. And I'll give you the biggest winner last. But we had Matt Gallery. Mr. McKissick got $15,000. It's not a loan, it was a grant. We put that money in the budget. We're going to increase it this year. So Matt Galleries on Livernois got $15,000. Chapman Jewelry on 7 Mile Road. I did not know it's a 3rd generation jeweler, and the uncle runs it. The 2 sons were there. A brother was there. They got $15,000. So if you all did not know, we have a high class, superb jewelry company or store in our district. We do. It's right on West 7 Mile Road. So they got $15,000. And one of the 2 biggest winners was Morrison's House of Shoe Repair. Rhonda Morrison, she received $50,000. And she told us that night, she was in total tears, just tears, because she said she needed a new roof. And that $50,000 is going to be used to get a new roof for our favorite shoe repair shop right on Livernois. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. And then I think the Sweet Potato Sensations, they got the other $50,000, but I'm proud that one of the $50,000 recipients was Morrison House of Shoe Repair. So she was totally excited. We had a black tie affair at the Historical Museum. It was open to the public. The food was delicious, and there were just tears everywhere. Some of those businesses have been in business for over 50, 60 years. They stuck and they stayed. And that's why we put that grant together. It's not a loan. They don't have to pay the city back. That's money for them to carry out their businesses. And it's a reward for all of our legacy businesses. So congratulations to those 3 recipients. Okay, the next slide. And I know I only get 10 minutes, so make sure you keep me on track, Bridget. All right. Okay. So what's in the budget this year? Lots. We are in budget deliberations right now. I just left downtown. We had the airport today. We had the I think we had the health department today. We had the workforce development department today, and we had the water department today. So you are going to see some wonderful things coming from the water department. So just think about rain barrels. Think about whether or not you want rain barrels on your property to catch some of that rainwater that you can recycle and reuse to maybe water your grass, do whatever you need to water your garden. So we're talking about that. We'll be meeting with Mr. Brown maybe one day next week. He's talking about starting them in certain sections of District 2. I'll keep you informed, but I'm really excited about the water gardens that are coming. We're looking at Comstock Park. I'll give you more information about that because that park is very well known for flooding. You can go over there and you can fish. That's how much water is at that park. And it's standing water, which is not real safe. So I'm hoping to do something with that area over there. I'll be working with the GSD department to see what we can do to deal with that water accumulating in just one area of that park. But it's a lot of water. So we're hoping to, if we can't, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this phone call, but just stay tuned. We're going to do some things at Comstock Park. Okay, so I've been talking to the mayor and Jay Risen about this since 2022, and they've listened. So now you're going to see for the 3rd year in a row, one mil reduction to your operational property tax rate for the 3rd year in a row. And it's because of your councilwoman that you're seeing these reductions in the mill, and you're going to see more next year under our new mayor, whoever he or she will be. Again, now I've been advocating for the My Tri Share program. This is going to help folks who work for the city and really can't afford childcare. The state has agreed to do 33%. Then the city can do 33% of the childcare costs. And then the parent, the family is responsible for the other 33%. So I'm working with our finance department and with the city council to see how we can pass this My my Tri-Share program. I'm working with Denise Starr, who is the HR director, to see if we can bring this to city workers who struggle to pay childcare. Childcare could cost almost $100,000 a year. It's very, very expensive. It takes a huge chunk of your pay, your salary, just to pay for childcare. If you have multiple children, you're paying triple the amount in childcare. So we're going to see if we can bring that My Tri-Share program that Governor Whitmer introduced about a year or so ago. We're going to try to bring it here to Detroit, and I'm hoping that we will. We are in our second year of having a parental paid leave program, which I sponsored in 2022. So now we are in our second year of having a paid parental program. So if you're a new parent or if you're adopting, you qualify for 6 weeks of paid leave. You will not lose your job. Your status will not be changed, will be impacted by you taking 6 weeks off. If you are eligible, you get 6 weeks paid when you have, a new baby or you adopt. And another thing that we're working on, because I'm all about children, is the RX Kids financial program. I'm going to work with our health department to see if we can bring this to pass. If not this fiscal year, hopefully the next fiscal year. It's just giving a parent $1,500 when she is pregnant midway. So she'll probably be in her second trimester. And then after that, she'll get about $500 a month, which is a huge lift, a huge relief for new parents. They don't have to worry about paying for their formula. They don't have to worry about where the money is going to come from for diapers and Pampers, or how to pay this bill, or for transportation. That extra income, that extra payment going to these new parents is going to be a blessing to them. And I definitely am working on that. This program is RX Kids. It's in Flint and Kalamazoo, and we're hoping we're going to be the third city in the state of Michigan to adopt the program. If I don't get through all of these slides, you can call my office at 224-4535, and that information is in the chat. I am on my 7th ordinance. I think I have broken a record for the newest council person to have this large number of ordinances. You have some council people who've never passed the ordinance. You have some who've been on council for 4 years, and they've only passed one. I have passed 6. The first one in my first 6 months was the e-scooter business license. Before I took office, you would see e-scooters everywhere. They were sprawled everywhere. They weren't even licensed. We had 6 companies doing business in our city unlicensed. When I took office, that was the first thing I did. Now every e-scooter business has to be licensed. The next thing I did was there was a trend ticking up in the state of Michigan and across the country where you had some businesses and restaurants and retail outlets that were denying people service because they wanted to use cash. I thought that was unfair because we have a large population in Detroit of Detroiters who do not have a bank account at all or are underbanked, which means they don't do a lot of banking. They keep it open just to maybe have a debit card. So I knew that was going to be a problem if we had businesses and retail outlets that were telling us they were not going to accept our cash, because it personally happened to me at Plum Market downtown. That being said, I took action. I worked with the law department, and we have our cashless business ban enacted about 1.5 years ago. Then now we have, most recently in 2024, I have a human trafficking task force, and we work with the Attorney General, Dana Nessel, on this. I have a beautiful task force. We'll be going up to Lansing, I think around April 23rd, April 24th, to work with our legislators to see if they can get this particular ordinance that we passed in Detroit under my guidance and leadership, if we can get this done across the state. This simply requires every hotel and motel to have a 9x7 placard posted in their lobby with the 1-800 number for human trafficking. And we were so great in our city, we put a 1313 number. So if you're uncomfortable with calling a 1-800 number, we put in a 313 number for our local DPD. And the chief was so wonderful, Chief Bettison. He gave us a designated number through the help of our deputy chief, Franklin Hayes. So we now have a designated number. If you see something, say something. And then we have our pet shops. We did not want any pet stores in Detroit selling puppies from puppy mills. I talked to the mayor of Berkeley. Her name is Bridget Dean, and they're struggling with their pet shop on Woodward. It's called Puppygram, and they're not real happy with Puppygram. I did not want Puppygram coming to Detroit, and it's not going to come. We have an ordinance on the books, thanks to your councilwoman, that prohibits this retail sale of pets in pet stores in Detroit. We don't have them anyway. We don't want them anyway. So they're not coming. Then most recently, I'm really excited about this because I've been talking about this for a while. We finally got my ordinance passed that restricts the billboards that advertise marijuana / cannabis and vaping. You cannot have a billboard advertising any of those substances within 1,000 feet of a playground, a playfield, a library, a school, or a church. So let me know. You can call BC, or you can call you can call the police department, or you can call us, my office. If you think you see a billboard advertising vaping products or cannabis / weed within 1,000 feet of, again, the playgrounds, the playfields, the schools, churches, and libraries, it is now, because of your councilwoman, illegal. We passed it 3 weeks ago, so it had unanimous support. Most of my ordinances have always had unanimous support because the ordinance that I put forth are always sound. They're always based on sound law. The last thing I want to leave with you is I'm advocating for an amusement / entertainment tax. Mary Sheffield and I are working on it together. I don't like the word tax. It's really going to be a fee, but it'll be set up like a tax, but I'm going to refer to it as a fee. When the NFL draft came here and Taylor Swift and Beyonce came, the city really didn't make any extra money on it. The surrounding businesses did, but we still were responsible for providing EMS services, police services, and cleanup services, and public safety. That's our job, to make sure that happens. But we didn't get paid for that. We had to pay overtime. We didn't get reimbursed for that. So with this new, I'm working on it now. We're going to go to the state, Mary Sheffield and I, and we're working with our state legislators to pass the amusement / entertainment tax. Really, it's going to be a fee. It's going to go on tickets. It's going to be attached to, when you buy a ticket through Ticketmaster, they tax the heck out of you. A tax for this, a tax for that. So this is what we're working on. And if you have any questions for me, it's been my pleasure to appear before you as your first speaker of the year. I'm still here for questions and answers. And Bridget, Madam President, I thank you so much for allowing me to be, again, your very first speaker of the year. And God bless each and every one of you. And I will stick around if you have any questions for me. But all my contact information is in the chat.
First of all, thank you so much again for being our first speaker. We normally try to get our city council representative to be the very first person.
Yes.
Now, I also want to acknowledge that you've visited one of our businesses in our neighborhood. I am going to provide you with more, so if you ever have extra free time, you're welcome to visit the different businesses that we have that are trying to promote our neighborhood and offer services in our neighborhood. And lastly, I just want to remind you, we're going to start our walk in May. Yep. I'll be sending you the information.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't want to call it a walk. We want to call it a neighborhood event, because we walk for 5 weeks, or maybe 4. I got to wait and see. But the walk really is a simple a thing where we meet at one of the supporting churches, then we walk through the neighborhood, and then we maybe give away a few prizes, and then we may have a few warm-up exercises. So it's like a little event. And the whole idea is to just let everybody know what we do here and who our neighbors are. So I appreciate you participating in
Absolutely.
the last 3.
You know, Madam President, I love to walk. You join my walks and I join your walks, and I always have a great time. And I want to thank you for inviting me to come to the Coffee Lodge Cafe. I think I was there like 3 times, and she said it made a difference in her bottom line in terms of, covering her costs for those months. So we were there January and February, and it was really my honor and my privilege to be there. We packed the house every time. And I think the last coffee we had, Todd Bettison came, our brand new chief, and he enjoyed the coffee. He enjoyed the atmosphere, and he promised me he would come back again. So you just choose the next business, and I'll make sure the chief is there, and I will be there as well. But he told me to tell you, thank you for your warm reception. He had an opportunity to meet the owner, and we all had a great time. And I think we were there either 3 or 4 times to make sure we were supporting her, not just in words, but with action and our money. So thank you so much for making that happen.
Okay, like I said, thank you so much. Now I'm going to open up for a couple of questions, because I know that you're in the middle of budgeting.
Yes, so,
ma'am. Do we have anybody out there with a question? You can just raise your hand. Or if you're on the phone, you can star 6. Are there any questions for the Councilwoman? We will be taping this meeting, and we will be putting it out again on my social media account so people can see what you said.
Mhm.
And we're going to be giving everybody a summary. But I would like to ask you one general question. With
Yes,
all
ma'am.
the stuff that's going on with Trump cutting this and cutting that, would that affect any of the funding the city council has already made that might be also associated with the federal grants that we get from the federal government?
We've asked those same questions and the answer has been no.
Okay.
All of our opera dollars have already been earmarked. We have up until the end of the year to actually make sure that they've been earmarked. So we are in the process of spending all of the federal dollars down. So far, so good. We are not going to be impacted. Not at all, not to my knowledge. And that question was asked of Tanya Studemeyer and Jay Risen when they made their presentation for the budget and finance department. And the answer, to our knowledge, no. I believe we're going to be okay based on what we've already received. Yes,
Where's
ma'am.
my laptop? My laptop. Hurry up. Turn it on. Turn it on.
Okay.
Hurry up.
Do we have anybody else with any questions for the
No, turn it on.
councilwoman?
Hurry up.
This is Sandra. I don't have a question. I just want to thank you, Councilwoman,
Thank
because
you.
you're so for just staying with Detroit. And I always talk of Detroit, but to see your passion for it, that is
Thank
just
you.
beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on because this is for our next guest speakers. If
Thank
you
you.
ever attend our meetings, we
I
normally
have-
want to make
I
sure
think-
everything
I
goes
have a
smoothly. And go
question.
through.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do have a question, Bridget. Miss Mia.
Okay, go ahead. Maya.
It's Maya.
It's Maya.
Hello.
Hi,
Go ahead, Maya.
Maya. Hi, Maya.
Hi. How you
Hi.
doing?
We're good. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to just commend everything that you have been doing. I am a resident of this community here, and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just appreciate everything you're doing. I'm looking forward, the last couple of times that you were at the Detroit Coffee Lodge, and supportive of that, I missed you. And
Aw.
I do look forward to you continuing your support at that beautiful establishment. And I would love to come and see you in the future, hopefully the near future, so that we can continue the conversation, particularly with, the current climate, and just so that some of those folks who missed you there have the opportunity to come right up the street and continue
Oh,
the conversation.
well, I think I was there for 3 or 4 times. And I tell you what, you don't have to wait for me to have a coffee hour. Take my number down. It's in the chat, but it's 224-4535. And why don't we just meet there and have a one-on-one conversation? You don't have to wait for me to have a coffee and conversation. Although my next one is going to be at Adams Butzel, April. That's all in the chat. If you want to meet me before then, we can meet any day next week. Just give me a couple of your times and I can try to adjust my calendar. But right now we are in budget. But if you can meet me as early as possible, our budget times do not start until 10 o'clock. If you're able to meet me before 10, we can have coffee at the lodge before I go into budget. And it could just be me and you, and we can just chat it up and have a great time. So I tell you what, call my office first thing Monday morning, give them a couple of days that you're available before 10 o'clock. We'd have to meet around 8. That'll give us about, 45 minutes to an hour. And you don't have to wait for my coffee hour. You can have me to yourself.
Oh, that's wonderful. 224-3545, correct?
4535.
Okay, 4530. Thank you again.
My pleasure.
All right.
Okay.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
going to take one more question, and then we got to move to the next guest speaker. That's from Crystal. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, real quick. It wasn't a question. I was just going to mention that fountain. I'm really looking forward to seeing that fountain. I've been on your walks.
You have.
I've been on
And you've also been to my coffees at the lodge.
and the lodge. Yes,
you have.
And Madam President, I've been on her walks as well. So and Comstock. So I've seen Comstock, and like you said, that water issue, it is ridiculous. We can't even walk through there. So looking forward to that being taken care of, and looking forward to taking a new picture as
Yay.
well.
Just hold on.
Yeah.
We the organization, the firm that's going to do the rehab of the fountain, they've already been selected. It's already gone through the RFP process. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be updating everybody on a very regular basis. So just stay tuned. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And as soon as anything happens with that fountain, I promise you're going to see it posted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
Okay. Thank you so much, Councilwoman. And like I said, we look forward to hearing from you more throughout the year. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to our next guest speaker. It's Miss Karim Richardson-Howell. Are you here?
Hi, yes, I'm here,
Okay.
Bridget. How are you?
Okay. Welcome, welcome. This is the first time you're talking to us. It won't be the last time, believe me. So go ahead and tell us what's going on in the Wayne County Treasurer Office.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you, Bridget, for inviting us to your meeting. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Karim Howell. I am an executive assistant with the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. And now, Bridget, I did send you some slides. Do you
Yes, we have it. Can you open it up, Kim? Okay,
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Kim. Okay, so if you would like to reach out to our office for any questions you have on delinquent property taxes, you can call us at 313-224-5990, or you can email us at taxinfo@waynecountymi.gov. Okay, and then if you would like to visit our office, you would need an appointment. But you can come to 400 Monroe Street, 5th floor, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. And later on, I'll show you how to do that scheduled appointment. Okay. So this next slide shows that the payment plans that are available on some accounts, depending on if you're owner occupant or not. The first plan is called the Interest Reduction Stipulated Payment Agreement, or the acronym ERSPA. So this payment plan reduces the interest rate from 18 to 6% for eligible taxpayers. You must own and live in your home and have a principal residence exemption and a Michigan driver's license or state ID that proves residency. And you also must pay your current tax to stay in the plan. This payment plan is available now until March 31st, 2025. The next plan is the regular SPA, or the stipulated payment agreement. This is a payment plan that's available to everybody, and this plan allows a taxpayer to pay taxes pursuant to a payment. The plan will avoid foreclosure provided payments are submitted per the agreed upon schedule. Interest is 1.5% on this plan per month. And this plan is also available now. Right now, you would have to put down 60% of your 2022s or older taxes to enter into this plan by March 31st, 2025. We also have a distressed owner occupant extension, which is acronym DEWI. To get into this extension plan, you must own the property and have a deed recorded in your name. You must also live in the property and have proof of occupancy via utility bill or other document. Interest on this plan is 1.5% per month, and it is available now through March 31st, 2025. You must provide a valid Michigan driver's license or state ID, and this plan is for those experiencing financial hardship with documented proof. And the final payment plan is a pay SPA plan. And that stands for Pay As You Stay Payment Agreement. Now, this pay SPA plan can only be applied to your account if you are a recipient of a poverty tax exemption. So only people who have poverty tax exemptions may qualify for the pay SPA. The pay SPA program may reduce your taxes and is only available for residents who own and occupy the residence and live in a municipality that has opted into this program. You have to apply for the poverty tax exemption through your local assessor's office and be approved. Then you will be contacted by the Wayne County Treasurer's Office via mail on your next steps if deemed eligible. Okay, and this pay SPA plan, if you were eligible for the pay SPA plan, we are applying Dan Gilbert Foundation money to these accounts. So it should be updated by Monday. You can call our office or go on our website to view that. The next slide. So the next slide is a taxpayer's guide. Really quickly, this is for owner-occupant homeowners to go, if they go to the local assessor's office and apply for the property tax exemption. You pick up the application, fill it out, or you can go online and fill it out and submit the property tax exemption application to your local board of review. The Wayne County Treasurer's Office will receive notification from the local assessors if your PTE or property tax exemption is approved or denied. So you will too. So you'll get a letter as well as we will be notified. If you're approved, the Wayne County Treasurer's Office records show you have unpaid delinquent property taxes. You are eligible for pays. If you're not approved or denied, the homeowner is not eligible for pays. Okay. So beginning on April 1st, 2020, the Wayne County Treasurer's Office will send letters to eligible homeowners only. The letters will reflect the reduction amount due to the date to come into the to make the payment arrangement. Payment arrangements for up to 3 years will be available. Homeowners making a lump sum payment will be eligible for an additional 10% reduction. So how this plan works, how this formula works on the PACE plan, if your delinquent taxes are greater than 10% of your home's taxable value, your reduced amount due will be 10% of the taxable value. So let's say your taxable value was $100,000. And if your delinquent taxes were greater than 10% of $100,000, so let's say your taxes were $12,000 a year, your property taxes will be reduced to 10% of the taxable value, which will be $10,000. And homeowners not qualifying for the 10% taxable value reduction who are eligible will have interest, penalties, and fees canceled. So that's a great opportunity to help get your taxes paid, okay? So the next slide is regarding the first responders. If you're a first responder like police, fire, EMS, or healthcare, you will not need a down payment requirement for the URSPA plan. So that's the owner-occupied plan. And if you need to get into a payment plan and you don't have the money right away, by March 31st, you can come into the office and enter into an interest reduction stipulated payment agreement if you haven't had one before. So that's great for the first responders. And the next slide is talking about the probate assistance. So I'm actually the person that manages probate assistance with the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. And if you're facing foreclosure and need assistance in starting a Wayne County probate court case because a property is in the name of a deceased family member, contact one of our community partners, which is Michigan Legal Services or Lakeshore Legal Aid, and they can help you file the case for the probate court. If you have any further questions, you can call me at 313-967-2379. The next slide shows property tax information. So if you need to go online and pay your tax, view payment plan options, or view your delinquent tax balance, you can scan this QR code. Kim, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So the property tax information, if you scan this QR code, you can check your payment tax. You can pay tax online, view your payment plan options, or view delinquent tax balance. Okay, and the next slide is if you want to schedule an appointment for the Wayne County Treasurer's Office, you can scan this QR code, or you can go on our website at treasure.waynecounty.com and click the scheduler to make a schedule appointment. And the last slide is the Ask the Treasurer slide. We have Ask the Treasurer every third Wednesday. So we just had it this past Wednesday where you can call, you can join the Zoom call and ask the treasurer a question. And finally, I would just like to mention the notice of intent to claim interest in foreclosure proceed sales that occurred prior to December 22nd, 2020. We don't have a slide for this, but I just wanted to mention that if you own a property in Wayne County that had a foreclosure and it was sold in our Wayne County Treasurer's auction, and there is excess proceeds, you can apply for those proceeds. You will have to notify our office. So if you go on our website at treasurer.waynecounty.com, in the auctions tab, you can download this application, get it, fill it out, get it notarized, and bring it. You can walk it into our office by March 31st, 2025, or you can mail it into our office. Make sure it's you need to get it certified. So you got to get it certified and send it through the post office, not UPS, not any of the other express mailings. You have to go to the post office to send it certified. Okay. And that is it for me. And if anyone has any questions, please ask.
Yeah, I want to thank you very much for opening the questions, for coming and participating in this month's meeting. Like I mentioned before, we will be providing the information you gave us in this presentation in a follow-up email we call What You Missed email blast. So folks will have access to this information, and hopefully we'll be able to provide a taped version of this meeting on our social media. So I have one question before I open it up. You mentioned that you can make appointments to visit your office. There's just any can you also just stop by if you have to, or all appointments have to be made? All office visits have to be made by
You
appointment.
can walk in and we can accommodate most times, but like March 31st, when it's the foreclosure day, there's going to be a lot of people down there. So I mean, unless you just really, really have to come down there, come down. But like on the busy days, you might not be able to get in.
Okay. And so when people reach out to you by phone, it's a quick response to your their questions, or
so if they call 224-5990, that's the customer service line. That's the quickest way to get a response. Or you can email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. So for me, general questions, I mean, if you need to call the customer service line for any general questions. If you have a probate question, you can give me a call at 313-967-2379. But if people call me, I do call them right back. So
okay, great. That's wonderful. So I'm gonna open it up. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, wait a minute. Do I see a hand up? Okay, Crystal, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, Crystal Bailey. I just had one question about foreclosure day. Which day did you say that? What day did you say that was?
That was on March 31st, 2025 is foreclosure day.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Now, let me ask you one question in regards to foreclosure. Let's say that I really procrastinating on trying to pay my property taxes, and now it's in foreclosure. Once it goes in foreclosure, is there any way you could prevent it from going through, or once it goes in foreclosure, you're done for the day?
So once it's foreclosed, you do have 20 days to redeem your property, but you will have to pay all back taxes in full.
Okay. That's not nice to know, but it's nice to know.
Right, just in case. Right?
Just in case. Okay, are there any other questions for the Treasury Department? Okay, Karim, I want to thank you so much for participating in this month's meeting. Like I said, we hope to have you on during the remaining meetings that we have, or some of the main meetings, so you just refresh us on what the process is and what you're doing. Okay.
Thank you, Bridget. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Okay, now as we're moving along, because we don't want the meeting to go too long, our next person, and we're happy to have her, first time person, is going to be let's see, hold on, Denisha.
Yes, I'm Denisha. I'm here.
Okay, Denisha Adams. I heard you came to our coffee shop and you
Yes,
started
ma'am.
talking about this stuff. And I said, well, you come back and tell people in our neighborhood what you're talking about, especially with all this crazy stuff happening in the government. So I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about your program.
Anyway, my name is Denisha. I've been a nurse for 24 years. I've been a nurse at Sinai Grace that long. However, I went to school to further my career and became a nurse practitioner. So I am a nurse practitioner for the VA hospital. So I've been pretty much firsthand getting information from the transition of our new administration, President Trump. So with that being said, unfortunately, he has already pretty much started taking a lot of the low-cost prescription plan that Biden put in place, which literally, unfortunately, has caused major, major, major overcapacitated emergency rooms. And unfortunately, even before Trump came into office, we already had a lot of doctors leave doctors practicing because of COVID, and we lost a lot of doctors. And behind that, we are literally short of doctors. We are short of residents because nobody is really interested in going into school anymore to be a MD anymore. So it's literally taking months for people to get into a doctor's office, even their own doctor's office. And even more so, unfortunately, if you need to see a specialist, that's even taking literally up to 6 months. So with that being said, I'm not part of your district. However, I'm trying to make sure everybody have some information, especially for your aunts, your uncles, even yourself, to teach you how to be a patient and an advocate for yourself. Unfortunately, we only have 10 minutes, so I don't know if you can put the full flyer that I gave to you,
Yeah,
Ms.
Kim, can you put that on? Okay.
So I'm going to be having a free event, and it's pretty much I have a packet, and it's going to go over everything that you are to literally have a discussion with your doctor. So that way you can pretty much control your blood pressure, you can pretty much have control of your cholesterol and be an advocate for yourself. And I'm going to also go over things such as to take yourself off certain medications so that way it can kind of decrease your cost of your medication, specifically people that's on some of these blood pressure medications, insulin and things of that nature, because President Trump has pretty much got rid of where Medicaid and Medicare will no longer be providing costs for those, and you're going to be pretty much paying out of cost for that. And unfortunately, and I've seen it where people literally will feed themselves before they pay for their medications. And unfortunately, the ER literally is taking the back for that, because now we have people in there whose blood sugar is out of control. And guess what? They have to sit in the ED for hours because now we have to see somebody that's literally having a major heart attack and stuff like that. So I'm going to also give resources on how to get a free blood pressure machine and things of that nature so we can have better control of our healthcare, especially because now he's working on literally basically cutting out Medicaid because that's his next move. So to avoid that, I'm just gonna literally go through step by step, very detailed, of things that you can stay on top of to prevent this and to keep you and your family out of the emergency room to prevent that. And unfortunately too, they building all of these urgent cares, which is fine, but they only gonna do so much, and then they only gonna end up sending you to the ER, and then it's just a domino effect, and it's everywhere. And then unfortunately too, these nurses are overwhelmed, so they don't have time, and a lot of these nurses are COVID taught, meaning that they pretty much learn how to be a nurse on the computer. And I'm just going to be honest with you. And unfortunately, they're not as keen as nurses that's been nursing for a year. So I'm just want to make sure you teach you how to stay abroad, on your own health care, with the nurse, with the staff, and even your own primary care doctor as well. So I'm telling you, it's imperative to tell your loved ones. I'm going to have a free packet given to you of all the levels that you should be looking out for, how to sign up for my chart so you can be proactive with you, your mom, husband, or whoever, to be able to do your, be an advocate for yourself. Yep. Especially because he got rid of the programs, which is called WHO and Healthy People 2030. And CDC is no longer allowed basically to, like, we have a bad case of influenza. And unfortunately, nobody knew about it. So of course it got passed around. People have died and people have gotten really sick. Unfortunately, because unfortunately, Trump made it to where it's not made to be, CDC can't announce those things anymore. So, and then he also cancer. So if you already in the cancer research and because some people get their cancer, their chemo and things like that paid for through the research. If you're not already involved in it, guess what? There's no more research for cancer anymore at this point because he stopped paying for that too. So, yeah. So a lot of doctors left U of M because that's the major facility really besides Carmano's that do a lot of research. So unfortunately, a lot of doctors left there because a lot of doctors was really only there really for the research part for cancer and other health diseases too. So I'm just inviting you all out to the free event at Detroit SIP April 19th at 11 o'clock. And I'll be having multiple ones too. To try to get to everybody so that we can be an advocate for ourselves and your parents too, and your aunts and your family.
But great, thank you so much. I'm gonna post this information and also I'm gonna share. So when you get your flyer together for your April 19th event, make sure you send a copy to me and I'll be able to
I'll resend
put it
it.
in my email blast. I know that preventive medicine now is the big thing that you need to start working on because of the fact that a lot of things that uncertainty out there about how things are going to affect you personally. So I appreciate you coming and sharing. And I am going, like I said, I'm glad that you're going to be having a workshop at Detroit SIP, which is over there by 6 Mile and what is that, 6 Mile and Wyoming or Myers?
Yeah,
Okay.
between Wyoming and Illinois is the two major cross streets.
Okay, then great. So we'll try to get people to come check you out. And then, like I said, anybody has any questions or comments about advocating for your own health care? Do you have any questions at all?
Sorry, I tried to raise my hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for being here and letting us know how these changes and the federal government are affecting us through our health care. I'm sure it's affecting us through our mental health as well.
Yeah.
I'm the vice chair of the Behavioral Health Advisory Council for the state of Michigan. And so we sent letters to Congress to advocate for, not to have these cuts. So I really, am very involved, and I thank you for what you do because it's not an easy job as well. So just thank you for being here.
Yep.
Sharing the information.
Absolutely. So tell your mom, your aunt, come on out. It's a free event. I'm going to make sure to get a packet just to give you very detailed information about things you should be going over and discussing with your doctor and things to follow up on so you can be proactive for yourself. And that way, honestly, it would literally decrease 80% of these emergency visits.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Denisha?
Huh?
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or questions? Okay. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go and say to you, I appreciate you coming. And our community meetings reach everybody. It's just not for the district. It's for the city of Detroit and beyond. So,
Okay.
that's why I said, anything you do, it doesn't matter where you have it. Just send me the information and I
Okay.
will share it. If you have, as long as it's not Russia or China,
No, it ain't gonna be that
okay,
far.
then we cool. We could drive there literally within a short time in the city. I will share it. Just make sure you get it to me. Okay. So since we don't have any more questions, we're
Siri
gonna
here. Let me know if I can help.
okay, that's AI again. Anyhow, I'm gonna move to Carol Weaver and also I think it's Crystal here, and then also Kim Tandy, who has some announcements for the city. So first of all, let me move to Carol. Carol, are you here?
I'm here. Can everyone see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotta do my joke of the year. We always refer to Carol as our cousin.
That's
Okay?
right.
Because she comes to every meeting and then she's always sharing stuff. So we just say, okay, she's a relative, so let her talk. Okay. So anyway, Carol,
Okay,
thank you so much for being at our first meeting. And go ahead and tell us what's
Yes.
going on in Detroit Public Schools. Community
So
district.
first of all, next Monday, March the 24th to Friday, March the 28th, we have spring break. So it's no school. No school, we have spring break. But we have resources. We have a guide for parents and families on information on immunization, vaccination clinics, academic enrichment exercises, and other essential supports. They're all on our website. I'm gonna give you our website is DetroitK12.org. DetroitK12.org. So all these resources can be gained through that hub. The next thing is that for all rising ninth graders, all current eighth graders that will be ninth graders, we have a Level Up Expo that will happen when we get back that Saturday, April 5th at Martin Luther King Junior Senior High School. Martin Luther King Junior Senior High School, the address is 3200 Lafayette. 3200 Lafayette, and it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's our Level Up. Very important. And when we get back, we have our Parents Are Heroes conference. These are for our parents. There'll be workshops, giveaways, vendors, all of that. I'm trying to pull up that information. And that will be April 1st. Our application schools, not our exam schools, but our application schools windows are from February the 10th to May the 16th. So our schools like yes, Frederick, our single gender male schools, Frederick Douglass, our single gender female school, DIA, Detroit School of Arts, Communications, Media Arts School, schools like Bates and Flicks. All of those, if you know anyone that wants to attend those schools and more, they can visit DetroitK12.org. DetroitK12.org. Now I want to talk about something that's really, I don't know why my computer has frozen, so I can talk about what's going on. So Dr. Blvd, he had a town hall this week about the possible federal cuts to K-12 education. You know, the president just signed an executive order that he wants to do away with the Department of Education, which we all think is ludicrous, but I don't know, we need help. K-12 education, I don't care. Detroit Public Schools, Wyandotte, all of the districts, all of the public districts, we all need help. It's kind of dire. And like I said, Dr. Blvd sent out a letter, and I will send it to Bridget when we have it to send out to our constituents. And we are asking for all of the people that have been impacted or will be impacted or who have gone to a public school to call their Congress first. So I know in my district, I know District 2 is split up. I'm Street Danadar, I think, Bridget, you are Rashida to lead, but we need contact with our legislators and telling them that they should stop or assist us with the possible defunding of the Department of Education. Like I said, it's just very important. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up the letter that Dr. Blvd sent. Oh, let me see if this is it. Okay, it's an advocacy letter campaign. And concerning the planned federal funding cuts. And it says, for those who had joined, it says, thank you for joining us on our first of many engagement sessions to learn about the impacts on the potential updates on the potential impact of planned cuts to K-12 education at the federal level, as well as updates about K-12 state education funding. And it's attached, it was an advocacy letter that could be used and shared opposing the proposed K-12 cuts. And it includes the contact for all Michigan congressional members and the link to contact contact information for all congressional education committee members. I do not have that of yet. We're trying to see how we can, the link is not perfect, so you can go and see the letter, but you can't send it. So when we're working on it right now, we'll be working on it next week. And when we perfect it, I will send it out to Bridget. And Bridget, if you could send it out to your community, this is very, very important. I mean, they're talking about a $2 billion cut to education to Michigan. It's just very, very important. So my name is Carol Weaver. Those are the updates for Detroit Public Schools Community District. My number is 313-459-6208. And my email is carol.weaver@detroitkTwelve.org. If you need any further assistance or have any questions that I can answer, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol. Normally with the updates, we don't ask questions, but right now we're going through some interesting times. I do want to just ask you one thing, because Detroit Public School District, after we had that bankruptcy, you guys have really pivoted to more positive environments and more positive choices for our students in the city.
Yes.
So now it's going to be, after all that hard work and getting closer and closer to the place you want to be, to have this suddenly come up and got to start all over again. It's very discouraging. So I'm just going to ask if we have a couple of questions for you online. Anybody has any questions about?
I do. I just wanted to verify the website to go to, like if you're interested in flicks and things of that nature, and also
DetroitK12.org. DetroitK12.org.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. That's all I needed to ask, and we're just waiting on the letter.
Yes.
I guess posted for clearance, because I want to be on top of that too.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so with that in mind, as soon as you email me and say, Bridget, send this out, I will make sure I share it on our email list. Like I said, we do a weekly email list that we go out to 600 plus people, and then it has a grapevine effect that goes, they send it to other people. So we'll try our best to help you get the word out once you let me know. Okay, because I know that's very critical for the students of Detroit. Because like I said, and people who try to get Pell Grants to go to college, that's going to affect Detroit Promise probably. So it's like, it's very, a lot of, affect a lot of different individuals. So we want to make sure we share stuff so people want to voice their concerns that can do that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that in mind, we have one more person. I don't see Crystal. Crystal, are you online? Okay. And normally we have one
Yes,
from.
I'm here.
Are you here? Okay, go ahead, Crystal. Tell us what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, what's going on with the Behavioral Health Advisory Council?
No, she's talking about the Wayne County Clerk's Office.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay,
I'm
then.
not.
Oh, never mind.
I'm sorry. Did someone have a question for me?
Rosa.
Okay. So Crystal LaRosa is not online right now, correct? Okay. With that in mind, we're going to move on over to Kim Tandy to tell us what's going on in the city of Detroit right quick, and then we'll be done with tonight's meeting. Go ahead.
I'm not going to be before you long at all. I just want to give a couple of updates. One is, it is that time for us to start doing our spring cleaning around the city. So I just want to make the announcement that our District 2 cleanup is May 3rd. And so again, we're going to ask you all to get out and clean up. And I hopefully that, San Bernardo will come out just like they have in so many other years, and being one of the premier areas that do incredible cleanups in the area. We will also be having our flower day and supply pickup on May 2nd. So May 2nd is that time. So if you all are interested in doing this, please register. Of course, we want you to register as a neighborhood association, but if you have some block clubs also too that want to register, they can do that as well. So again, May 3rd is District 2. And we will be doing our pickups on May 2nd. So that is Motor City Makeover. And then we are also in the process again. So when you register, if you are interested in having a tree put in front of your house, we are putting those trees out then. And so our forestry department is really trying to put more trees on the streets. And I know a lot of us have had some trees in our front yards before that have caused cracked sidewalks and other things. These trees are not that. So in the past, 50, 60, 70 years that those trees that were planted before, we have learned a lot. So, but we do need, for clean air and for oxygen and all that other kind of stuff, some street trees. So if you are interested, there's some information on here. Bridget did go through the fact that we are not putting yard waste out. I just want to encourage everyone, please. I know it's been a couple of nice days. People are starting to put those bags out. You are going to get tickets for those. So let's not put them out until that time. And then if you do have other cleanups that you're doing and it's bigger than what you get for bulk, you can call 876-0004 for a paid pickup. They'll give you a quote and then come out that next day. And so it is probably the cheapest that you'll get to remove some of those other things. But please, if you're raking those leaves, let's not do that until a couple weeks, and then they'll be out there to pick those leaves up. And then just want to remind everyone that we do have our city Doncast every Monday at 5. And then here you'll get this when you get your when Bridget shares this. But I just wanted a schedule of all your District 2 meetings this year. So every second Tuesday is your district meeting at 6 p.m. We are starting to be hybrid, so we'll be at Northwest Activity Center as well as online. And then every first Thursday of the month at 11 o'clock is your Blight Task Force meeting, and we talk about different blight issues that we have across the city and what those ordinances are that support how we get those tickets and those things. And then just that's all I have actually today. So thank you so much. I didn't want to keep any longer, and I know,
We do thank, and again, thank you again for hosting our virtual meetings that we have. We could not do this without you. So we do appreciate you being in the background, flipping the slides, making sure we don't have crazy people get on the line to crash our system. So we do appreciate you doing it. So with that,
but I just have one other thing. You made the comment that your NPO is Sergeant McGee. That is our sergeant at the 12th precinct over all NPOs. Your NPO for your area is actually Police Officer Jones, and I will put his phone number in the chat. So we just got some new NPOs. A couple of our NPOs have retired, and so Sergeant McGee is our sergeant for all of the NPOs in the 12th precinct. But NPO Jones is your specific NPO. So I just wanted to make sure that you had that information as well. And I'm about to put his information in the chat.
Okay, do you have his phone number and everything there?
Yep, I do.
Okay, you send me that, then I can update. What is it? I couldn't hear you.
I'm going to put it in the chat, but then I'll send it to you as well.
Okay, great. Then we want to make sure that one question before you move on. You're saying that the next meeting for the District 2 meeting is going to be a hybrid at Northwestern. Is that going to be hybrid, or is that going to be virtual?
No, it'll be hybrid. It'll be at Northwest Activity Center on Myers as well as online.
Okay, great. Okay, so I will make sure we update our stuff. Let me go ahead and say the last few words for tonight's meeting. And first of all, thank you very much, everybody, for coming to today's meeting. And you can reach us at P.O. Box 4736, Oak Park, Michigan 48237. We are located. First of all, let me just step back a minute. People call all the time saying, where are you guys located? I guess that is a response to how well informed we keep our neighbors. But actually, San Bernardo Park Association board consists of regular people living and volunteering their time. So we're just your neighbors. We're the neighbor next door. Me personally, when you call me, I'll be sitting in my room turning off the TV so I can answer your call. Okay, these are just volunteers. We don't have a building, so we have a PO box in Oak Park. So don't let that confuse you. We are the neighbors in the neighborhood. We are on your block or the block over from you. So San Bernardo Park Association consists of businesses, like I said, organizations, churches, renters, and homeowners. We're all part of San Bernardo Park. So I just want to mention to folks that you can write us at PO Box 47376 in Oak Park, Michigan. You can call a hotline number at 313-437-1062. You can text us or call that number or leave me a voice message. I normally return calls within 48 hours. You can email us at SBPA_blockclub@yahoo.com. Facebook, we're on Facebook. You just have to go at San Bernardo Park Association, all one word. You can also check us out on Instagram, again, at San Bernardo Park Association, all one word. I want to mention before we close out tonight that our next virtual community meeting is going to be April the 11th. That's the second Friday in April instead of the third. The reason being that that's Easter. The third Friday is Good Friday, and Easter falls right behind it. So we're doing it a week earlier so folks can be involved. We got a whole bunch of guest speakers coming up, so we look forward to a very informative meeting. The meeting after April will be in person, so stay tuned for details about what we're doing. But the next meeting is April 11th, so mark your calendars. April 11th from 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. And with that in mind, I want to thank
Wait, Bridget, did you see that Judy had a question in the chat?
Judy, what was your question? I didn't see that. What was Judy's question?
I just wondered if there's any update on the blight, the building on the corner of Whitcomb and 7 Mile.
Yes, so and I just put the answer in the chat. So that one has been escalated to our legal department. And it's also escalated on our problem. We have a new kind of department, or I shouldn't say department, but there's a new group that is working on escalated buildings that have so when we escalate these that have been constant problems that are not necessarily being solved by blight tickets in itself. So that one is on that list right now. And so DPD and some other departments are working on it. Again, we are going to keep boarding it until we actually get ownership of it. And then I don't know if it'll be torn down, but it probably would be demolished. But if there's somebody that's interested in it and opening a business, I know that the gentleman that owns the building that has the health food store in it right now is very interested in purchasing it. I did speak to him, and so we're working to see what that arrangement could be as well. So we are still working on it and dealing with it every day. But it has been escalated and it is in that law department. So if we can get ownership, then we could sell it if that's what he wants to do, or if we want to demolish it. He did talk about demolishing it, making more parking lot. Not necessarily interested in making more parking lot necessarily, but with that new kind of event space coming like further down that block, that might be a good thing if we can make it beautiful and they can keep it up and all of that, because the parking lot that's associated to the building is really not in good shape either. So we are working on that, and again, if we get ownership, we'll get it sold or get it taken care of, and so we can get that out of here.
I'm glad it's escalated. We have the loitering issue on the corner, and that building is contributes to that.
I agree. Yep. So we are, and so it is escalated though, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions that anybody has to address to Kim or anybody else who might still want to be online before we move on? Okay, with that in mind, we're going to close the meeting out at 7:22. And I do appreciate everybody who was online and participated in the meeting. And we hope to see you at the next one we have on April 11th. I'm going to ask Kim, can you stay on a little bit after everybody shuts up so I can just have the last words with you? I appreciate it. So everybody, we'll see you on April the 11th and have a wonderful, safe evening.
Thank you for the invite. Great meeting. I just got poor reception here.
Hi,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Kelly's going to be at our meeting next month, so stay tuned for details. She's going to talk about some other preventative health methods too. So stay tuned for the next meeting.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay,
All
everybody, we'll
right,
see you
bye-bye.
next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Mhm.